People often think of war as glamorous until they or someone they know becomes a casualty. The same is true in the spiritual arena. Spiritual warfare seems to be a popular subject for movies, lectures, books, and preaching, but many believers are casualties of Satan's schemes. Make no mistake, whether they are aware of it or not, all Christians are engaged in a very real spiritual battle between two opposing kingdoms, and those least in the know are often the first casualties. Thankfully, Paul provides believers with a self-defense course in Ephesians 6, and Jesus equips us with all 6 dimensions of our spiritual armor. He is our truth, our righteousness, our peace, the object of our faith, the source of our salvation, and the living Word of God. When we put on Jesus Christ, Romans 13:14 and Galatians 3:27, we are protected by the only person Satan has never defeated. Using the armor of a Roman soldier as a model, the Apostle Paul describes how the Christian can stand strong in the midst of this ever-present but unseen spiritual battle. 1. The belt of truth. In Ephesians 6:14. The soldier's belt served as the foundation of his armor, holding his sword and his breastplate. Because Satan is the father of lies, John 8:44, he cannot stand against the truth. Jesus said, I am the truth, John 14:6. Victory in spiritual warfare starts with truth. Number 2, the breastplate of righteousness. In Ephesians 6:14. The breastplate guarded the heart, the source of the soldier's life. In a similar way, righteousness protects the spiritual life of the Christian. Our righteousness comes not from ourselves, but from Christ. Philippians 3:9. Number 3, feet protected by the gospel of peace. Ephesians 6:15. The soldier's heavy armored sandals gave him traction and security in the heat of the battle. So our peace with God through Jesus Christ gives us security in the face of Satan's accusations. Philippians 4:7. Number 4, the shield of faith. Ephesians 6:16. The soldier's leather-covered shield should be soaked in water to extinguish could be soaked in water to extinguish the flaming arrows of the enemy. Faith in God's promises deflects and extinguishes the lies of Satan. Proverbs 30:5 and 1 John 5:4. Number 5, the helmet of salvation. Ephesians 6:17. The armored helmet protected the soldier's brain. Since the primary battlefield is in spiritual warfare is the Christian's mind, assurance of salvation defeats the doubts Satan uses to attack us. John 10:28. Number 6, the sword of the Spirit, the Word of God. Ephesians 6:17. Paul noted only one offensive weapon, the soldier's sword. For the Christian, the sword is the Word of God. See note on the Word of God in Ephesians 6:17 that says the only weapon for offense in the Christian's armor is the Word of God. 2 Greek words are commonly translated: word in English, logos, which describes the Bible as a whole, and rhema, the term here, which refers to a particular saying of God that has special application for a given situation. The Bible as a whole is an armory from which to select swords for specific battles. Jesus illustrated the use of the rhema of God in his victory over Satan in the wilderness. Matthew 4:1-11. Thanks to the notes here by David Jeremiah to further explain the matter. Thankfully, our spiritual armor is to be used in a war that has already been won. It is said of Napoleon Bonaparte that as he attempted to conquer all the kingdoms of the known world, he spread out a map on a table, pointed to a specific place, and said to his lieutenants, Sirs, if it weren't for that red spot, I could conquer the world. The spot to which he pointed was the British Isles, the very nation that met Napoleon at Waterloo in Belgium and defeated him in league with a group of nations. There is no doubt that when Satan talks with his minions about conquering the world, he says the same thing about the red hilltop of Calvary where Christ's blood was spilled. If it were not for that red spot, I could rule the world. But that red spot is what makes all the difference in our spiritual battle. We do not have to live in fear of the devil. We need only enter the spiritual battle to which we have been called, aware of its reality and its subtlety, and armed with the truth that the ultimate victory against Satan has already been achieved. Therefore, right now at this moment, we are no more than conquerors through him who loved us and gives us the victory.